Guess that's that. That- Good. 5. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, all colors all around. Fitting them get great facts. All heads here and welcome. Cat. Still trying to figure out where our voice is supposed to be high, but I'm out. Low, then you're too low. Podcasting. All the glory, man. Long weekend. Crazy long weekend. The longest. And it don't even really be bad. It's just the weather be everything. Like your weekend when it's warm outside and the sun's out, totally different from your weekend when it's cloudy, it's a little muggy, and it ain't raining. Like it ain't no precipitation at all. It's just cloudy. Just a gross feeling. I don't even. I was supposed to go out hiking, go exploring. None of that. And I've been so off key and so tucked away, man. Didn't even realize it's homecoming season, boy. Folks was outside, and it felt terrible. A lot of my folk wanted me to come to homecoming. I'm like, nah, I'm good. Then I got invited to homecoming out around the way. Ended up raining on them folk. Got invited to another one. Weather ruined it. Everybody was cold. I'm like, nah. I reached that stage of bougie where if it ain't hitting how I wanted to hit, it's over. Don't go ahead and chalk it up as a no for me. I ain't doing it. But story time, right? Mike got a mind of his own. But story time. Learn to stop taking social media too serious. Just because what you see ain't real. And a lot of times what you hear ain't real. The stimuli that's on social media is created to do just that. Stimulate. It elicits some kind of reaction out of you, either positive or negative. It's not meant for regular consumption or everyday activity. Compare social media to like say red velvet cake. In certain doses, thing hit. But try to eat it every day, all 3 meals, all the time, make you sick. And depending on what ingredients is in it, how much of it you eating. Social media is like dessert. Use sparingly. And you got to be real particular about how you partake. What made me even think of that right is there's a young lady on social media. She's like a personal trainer or something like that. Attractive. And you know how personal trainers attract new clientels, especially women. I'm gonna show you my body. And in particular. I'm not going to show you my shoulders and my arms because you're not really interested. Don't really care about the form of my back. You honestly not even interested in core workouts. You want to see my ass and things but adjacent. So he does a lot of that online and apparently attracts folks. It's that law of association folks have in their head that if I'm with you or around you, I can somehow, some way work my way into what you are just by being around you. Social media have folk thinking like that. Like, as long as I'm in the vicinity, it'll attach itself to me, which is why it's not real because the hard work don't go on there. The hard work is what gets you there. So just standing next to the finish line does not mean you won a race. Bar. What? I see this lady normally on social media. Like, all right, cool. Might engage with something. Like, here's an exercise you should try. But here's a new gym that's open. Here's an event that's happening. Finally, I'm in the gym working out, right? I never met this woman in person, never seen her in person. She walks in. I'm like, all right, bet cool for videos or even percentage of how she works out. I know it's about to go crazy. So let me just try to stay out the way. I'm working out and I don't know what kind of workout she got going on. At some point, she infiltrates my machine hopping and my schedule, what I got going on. And she like in the machine that I need to get to next. So I do what all players do. Let me stay on this machine. He post up, and then when it's my turn, I go. So she gets off the machine. I get up because I'm going to go grab like the paper towel and the spray to get mine together. I noticed that she ain't spray beforehand, and she get up and walk off. I'm expecting her to like come back. She's on to the next one, so she not wiping it down afterwards neither. Mind you, again, this lady's like fitness guru, so the workout is supposed to be like intense enough for her to be sweating. And she ain't wiping no machines off. I get up to the machine. I'm like, ain't no way. And there's a smell that lingers. I won't say it's the fish smell because that'd be inaccurate, but there is a smell. I look down at the seat. There's a streak. Not a poop streak or nothing crazy like that, but you know, ladies have that like that alley, that avenue runs down the middle of them. A streak blew me, completely blew me. So I wiped the machine down, and just to have it happen once was already like, yeah, I can't believe that. That's gross. But this happens for like 4 or 5 machines where she don't wipe it off. She just jump on the next one. Don't even look back. And I'm basically cleaning up after her because one, and I'm trying to get. Finally, at the last one, he gets up, just runs to the mirror, video, picture, whatever, goes to the bathroom for about 10 seconds, and then leaves. And I'm disgusted. I didn't follow this lady's snail trail. And then later that day, got my phone open. There she is. Same gym as me, posting a workout. Look at what I'm look at how I'm looking. You want to look like this? Come join me. I immediately unfollowed her. Friended, blocked, all of that. Imagery, when you see somebody online that looks good, it look good mentally, automatically. That's the hardest part. So smelling good or any other hygienic aspect of your existence has to be taken care of, because if you work that hard to look that, there's no way that you would cover all your bases. And then to be in the same vicinity as somebody and then realize that their hygiene is terrible and that looking good was legit all it is, and just looking good on social media. Because as she's walking in front of me, I notice like the streak is legit. The streak, from like front to back. Like I need to know what I'm cleaning right now. What streak like that? And it's not like a little streak neither. It's like proper like measurement wetness. Pause. The machines were not moist, but they were damp. That makes sense. So I'm wiping dampness off of each machine as I'm coming by. And that was a perfect representation of social media to me. All that shit looked good through the phone until you get around it. How the sausage is nasty. But I'm pretty sure nobody's ever said anything or complained about it. It's just, hey, you look good. That's all that matters, right? And the same lack of awareness impacts everybody when going through life. That's what I'm talking about today, man. Like on your timeline, are you what's going on, or are you just hyper fixated on specific facets? For example, I worked in quite a few different industries, had a few different careers, but I always wanted to be cognizant of what impact I was having, not just on my bank account, but on society as a whole. So, for example, working at a bank, my job is to try to get you take out a loan or to bring more money for the bank so the bank can make more money with your money. What kind of impact does that have on society as a whole? Am I doing more good or am I doing more bad? And when you go through the little step by step or the bullet points of what's going on, it's like, nah, I'm not really having a positive impact. So let me get away from that. Say you work in construction. It's a good job to have, building things, but the parts that folk don't think about is how much deforestation have you been a part of? How many trees have you cut down? Like, because global warming is a thing. How much forestry or forestation or greenery have you cut down in order to build the buildings that you build? And what's the impact of the environment after you're finished or completed a project? How much gas are you using? That the buildings that you build, say the apartments you building, can folk afford those buildings? The price tag attached to them crazy. And you can go on and on and on. And if you were to pay attention to not just your specific situation, but what part you play in the grander scheme of things, a lot of folk would be real uncomfortable with themselves because a lot of the biggest issues that you have in society, you play a part of unknowingly. You know, ignorance is bliss, but being ignorant isn't an excuse, especially for adults. And if the consequences are all encompassing, not knowing isn't an excuse or not a good enough one. I know because I've had a few career again, I've worked in a few different industries where I'm working, I'm like, all right, bet cool. I can build my way up. I can make money easily, or I can improve my resume drastically by doing this, or that. But what kind of impact am I having? Yeah, I have this title, but is this title a key or is it a cog in a bigger machine that's making life worse? If so, then I can't play a part in it. Your morals versus your money. But to get to the topic of the day, I want to holler at folks just because conversation to be had. What kind of careers are you preaching to your children or to people around you? What kind of industries are you pushing them towards? What kind of innovations are you marketing and advertising for? And what impact do these things have? Like for example, with AI, I'm a big opposition to AI. Like, what sense does it make to make life easier if you're shortening life? Like, if I have to type an essay that might take me 4 hours, I can get it in 4 seconds. Why would it matter if it's going to shorten my life by 4 years? See what I'm saying? Yeah. And even though that's a crude example, it's accurate. Working in the financial industry, folks only make money with other people's money. And the whole point is the money. So anything else that matters to you doesn't matter to me. So I'm going to do what's in the best interest of me making money over what's best for you. Question. Teaching. You can't teach anymore. There's only so much I can teach you because certain things get taken out of the itineraries, and we're not allowed to teach that anymore. And your children aren't focused, aren't respectful, don't have manners, so not teaching at all. Instead, I'm just going stay here for the allotted amount of time that I'm responsible for you, and then when it's time for you to go, goodbye. Not teaching, but oh well. What kind of impact are you having? Like folks always like to tout themselves or color themselves as good people. When it's time for them to be a good person, do they do it? Do you volunteer? Do you do community service? If there's somebody in your community that needs assistance, do you assist them? If you see somebody out and about that could use a hand, you lend a hand. Everybody would like to feel supported, but are you supportive? And it's a situation where doing one good thing at the beginning of the month doesn't carry over. I helped somebody this one time on the first, so I get to relax and not be helpful on the 27th. I'll catch you on the first and again next month. That makes me a good person. Don't. Because there were ample opportunities between the first and the first that you probably overlooked because you didn't see a reason to. In that time, the people who were experiencing you being checked out, you think they would consider you a good person? Because when the opportunity arose for you to show it, you passed. And it just kept happening. A lot of people who pass by them say that they're good people, but they were checked out that day. My office hours are from 9 to 5. But if you need help at 10, you just supposed to be ass out. Or are you a good person? What kind of impact are you having with your relationships, friendship, family? Do you tell people what they want to hear? Or when you're uncomfortable, do you just isolate yourself? One of the most common behaviors that was passed down as a aftershock of slavery is molestation and rape. A lot of folk have uncles and aunts, cousins, grandmothers, grandfathers, fathers, mothers, brothers, sisters, children who have participated in grotesque behavior like that. But did you cover it up? Is it something that y'all talk about? That anybody's ever talked about? Has it ever been hashed out? Or was it just swept right under the rug and now family don't really talk much now because it's something that needs to be talked about? You ignore it like everybody else? Because if you ignore it, it's going to pass down. The behavior is going to pass down. Your mannerisms. There's going to be like an elephant in the room that kids are going to pick up on. And then they just going to find that behavior normal. Yeah, we make a little small talk. We make random jokes. And every time we see each other, it's the same conversation because we can't grow together because there's a big issue that we never spoke on. Yeah, our uncle used to molest all of our female cousins, people's moms and everything. Nobody with any power within the family structure spoke on it. So nobody speaks on it. So our family can't grow. If anything, it's fracturing because they feel abandoned. They feel ignored. They feel awkward about it. They feel embarrassed. And everybody's isolated in their own feelings because nobody wants to talk about the situation. And I'm not going to talk about it either. I'm just going to treat the awkwardness as normal behavior. And we just going to keep letting that matriculate down the generations until the family's splintered and nobody understands why the cousins don't hang out. It's because their parents don't hang out. Because of that weird shit that happened that nobody talks about. I know what you did last summer. Type vibes. Again, all right. What kind of impact are you having? What kind of person are you? I could have named this like legacy versus impact, but That's already too cliche. A lot of folk have a conversation about that. And that kind of situation, right, is directly tied to the quote that I got behind me. Because being aware isn't just as simple as being all knowing. And I broke it down behind me. Being aware, there's like 3 different levels of awareness, because there's 3 different categories of awareness. And one leads to the next. You need the first one to lead to the second one, to lead to the third one. And there's no skipping steps. You can't be at stage 3 and not go through the first 2. And it makes the conversation easier, because as you try to answer who you are and what kind of impact you having, you can only answer that question if you are aware enough to go through each of these stages. Let's see. So, like, of course, QLTD, one of my favorite artists, listen to all the time just because relate to the music. Even if I don't relate to what he's talking about specifically, or if I don't relate to the theme of the song, even if I don't like the beat, being relatable is one of the best and most influential, critical parts of being an artist, being relatable. Hindsight is 2020, reconcile 50-50. And he says it's a few songs, but it's right every time it's said. Hindsight is 2020. Basically, it's easy to look back and say what you should have did, or what you could have did, or what the correct answer would have been after you've seen the results of the choices made. Like traveling without your GPS, you go into the store, you ain't never been to the store without your GPS. Taking all the turns, and it took you 35 minutes. The store's supposed to be 5 minutes away. It's easier to go, dang, I should have made that turn instead of this one, after you've already made your choice. Hindsight is 2020. The answer seems clear after you've already made your selection. Reconcile is 50-50, meaning it takes 2. Other saying is you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make it drink. Got to meet folk halfway. Got to connect and got to meet on that. Only way you can interact with folk or build any kind of relationship with folk or feel included or validated, to be met where you at, to want to help, and for somebody to want to be helped. And the crazy situation about it, you leaving your impact is, society is built to be impacted. So that door is always open, but are you going to give your 50% and make the decision to impact it? People are always waiting to be influenced. Are you willing to influence? And the 3 stages I was talking about, right, that are mandatory for self-awareness and determining whether you're a good person or not, whether you're successful or not, whether this idea is going to work or not. Just any kind of situational analysis you can go through. One, everybody has. Like, as you live life, you're always going to have hindsight. Everybody is going to be given the gift of hindsight. or the ability to use hindsight, because you're making choices. You're going to experience the consequences of those choices. As long as you have those two, it's easy to look back and go, this was a result of that. Yeah, that's simple. I added A to B and got C. Like, hindsight is just that simple. Hindsight is, whereas these are just my definitions as well to try to speak in layman's terms. I try to speak in layman's terms on every episode, but hindsight is the awareness of past events or situations. Looking back at, dang, this is what happened. These are the variables and the factors that affected what happened. Here are the results of what happened. Then there's the conjecture of hypothetical, this, or this could have happened if I just did that, or that. Can't call that. That's the unknown. Hindsight is awareness of the known. What the facts of the situation, analysis, fact analysis, hypotheticals, the guesses. This second one is the one where step one, a lot of folk, remember, everybody gets hindsight, but folk either choose to acknowledge it. For anybody that ignores it, they'll never have insight. You have to acknowledge your past. You have to have knowledge of previous events in order to be awareness of current events, situations, insight. Be aware of your current events and situations. You have to be aware of the past. This led to where we are today. Simple. So you have to, yes or no, you got to click yes to even get there. And this one, foresight, that one's the rarest of all three. Remember, involuntary, voluntary. It's the word. And gifted to have foresight. And probably say you have to be gifted. Foresight is awareness of future events and situations. So being able to use past predictors in order to foreshadow what's likely to happen. Because nobody knows the future 100%, but if you are really keen on self-awareness and on learning and making peace with the past and with your current situation or the current state of affairs, lucky enough to have foresight. In the conversation, about what kind of person you are and what kind of effect you're having is a conversation that involves all three. Because spoke about timelines, what kind of person you are and what kind of effect you're having is an acknowledgement of your entire timeline. Your hindsight, where did you come from? What was your starting point? What tools, resources were you given in order to set out on your journey? Insight, what are you currently doing with the tools and resources you were given? Have you gone out to acquire more? What are you currently working on? What is the impact of what you're currently working on? Foresight, what's next for you? What is the impact of what's next for you? What are the results going to be of what you're getting into next? So you got the look to the past, you got the current state of affairs, and then foreshadowing to what your goals are. And your impact is that measurement. Your impact is what are the effects of your choices. Your legacy is the accumulation of your choices. So to bottle it up, just in my opinion, legacy is the accumulation of your choices. Impact is the accumulation of the results of those choices. So to make a simple comparison, my legacy, I created Twinkies. The Twinkie Man. Impact, a snack that lasts forever and health issues that last just as long. Just set out to do that. So your legacy is that, but the impact is something different. Where you at? Have you acknowledged your past? Are you aware of your present? And are you informed or aware of or planning towards what you want your future to look like? You know the answer to all three of those. You understand your legacy. Now look at your impact or your potential impact. And once you do all of that, this is what the heaven conversation, you were to look at the heaven test, let it be, or the angel test. Where did you start? What did you do? What did you work towards? What was your impact? What was your influence? You answer all those questions, then you can get to the simple underlining question of, were you a good person or not? Because on your tombstone, there's 2 dates in the dash. We looking at the dash. At that second date, were you a good person or not? Look at your legacy. Look at your impact. Were you a good person? What was your impact on those around you? What did you influence others to do, or what did your behavior lend itself towards? You wanted to get into real estate, you wanted to make money, so you gentrified a neighborhood, bought up a lot of homes in Black neighborhoods. You invested in it, rented it for high prices, watch, rinse, repeat. You would say you're profitable, you're good in real estate, but you moved a lot of families out of their homes. Then you priced it at such a mark that folk couldn't afford to live there. So were you a good person or not? The angel test. If being a good person is important to you, you want to do that work. If you don't give a fuck what kind of person you are, kill yourself.
Yeah.